Welcome back to Naval Action, and I thought today we'd have a look at hostility and how you generate it. Now before I get too far into this, just a wee bit of a warning. Where are we? We're at the end of October. The devs are tweaking the maths behind this a lot, so be prepared for the scales and the balance and the actual raw numbers to change a bit on this over the next few weeks. But in general, if you're looking to get involved in helping your nation either defend an area or set an area up for a port battle, then I'm just going to go over the mechanics of hostility generation. I'm not going to go into the port battles themselves. In another 3 or 4 weeks, the actual mechanics of a port battle will change greatly with the land and fortifications coming into port battles. There's also a lot of gibbering on the forums at the moment about whether or not one actually sails to a port battle or there'll be some stupid port lobby introduced. So let's focus in on hostility. So first of all, what is hostility? So if we go to the map here and we zoom out on our map, all of our ports are now set up as regions. So I'm going to focus down here on Trinidad, and if you put your cursor over the capital of the Trinidad County, you'll see that there's 4 ports connected to it, and you'll also see that the British, the Dutch and the Americans have generated a small amount of hostility. So if we wanted to set this particular port up for a port battle, we would have to get that hostility to 100%. Now you can see the hostility on the map in the conquest information. So if you go to global hostility levels, this is the pirates. They've got a little bit of hostility generated in these 3 areas. The British have got a little bit in these areas. The Dutch have got Cartagena up to 45%, so that's probably the highest on the map at the moment. The Danes have been working on Georgia, that's on the in America. And the US, tiny bits of hostility here. So this shows the percent. When that percent hits 100%, a port battle is scheduled. So you can click on your map here. These are the scheduled port battles, and you'll see the times that they're scheduled for and which nation is the protagonist in that port battle. What's probably very important for you to know is you can't have more than 2 port battles queued up for your nation, generated by your nation at any given point in time. So we'll see the pirates have generated hostility in La Vega and also in Nuevatis de Principe. Now, if the pirates took another county to 100%, it would not set up as a port battle because they already have 2 scheduled. When you tip a port to 100%, the battle will auto-schedule to 46 hours, Russians, 46 hours after you kick off at 100%. If you have 2 battles queued already, like the pirates do, it will just sit at 100%. If they win one of those port battles, then the 100% will automatically schedule, and it will be scheduled on the basis of the time when they won the port battle. This is all current mechanics. You can have more than 2 port battles that you're involved in because, of course, other nations can trigger them against you. Now, with the pirates here, they've got these 2 set up, so they couldn't generate a 3rd one right now. Let's get back to ways that you can generate aggression or hostility. So if we head back down to Trinidad, what we'll see is Trinidad's only at a small amount of hostility. Brits have got 5, Dutch have got 1, US have got bugger all really, 0.4. That's literally probably a ship sunk. There's 4 ways of doing it, of generating hostility to try and push that percentage up. The first one is to make war supplies. So you can make war supplies. It's really quite arduous to make war supplies. It requires a bit of effort. So to make a war supply, you have to have 30 muskets, 30 gunpowder and 30 provisions. Muskets require you to bring together precise parts, planks and gunpowder. Gunpowder requires you to bring in charcoal, sulfur, saltpeter and barrels, which need manufacturing in themselves. And provisions require foodstuff and barrels. So you can see there's quite a lot to build a war supply. A war supply at the moment, and whenever I give a points value, it's very much at the moment, I think is 75 points. So to get a port to tip, you need to get it to 10,000 points. So you can see you would need a lot of barrels. So you'd need what, 12, war supplies, you'd need what, 1200-ish war supplies to tip a port, 1230 war supplies to tip a port. So that's the one way of doing it, through trading effectively. You would bung a smuggler's flag on with your war supplies, take it into one of the ports in the region you're attacking. You take a mission to do that. So to do that, what you need to do is go to your missions and choose a war effort supplies. I don't have any made. If I did, it would then let me choose where I wanted to take them to, and then when I get to that port, I come back in here and I choose the deliver option. So that's the first way of doing it. The second way of generating hostility is to kill AI fleets. So you see a lot of AI fleets sailing around. Simply tag up one of those AI fleets on your own or with some buddies and sink the AI fleets, and you will generate hostility points for each ship you sink in an AI fleet. Now, the advantage of doing an AI fleet right now is nobody else can join the battle, so you can pick the odds, sink the enemy ship, win yourself some points, and no enemies or indeed friends can join that battle and alter the BR of it. So that's a good way of sort of safely, as it were, raising hostility in a county. The third way is to, as I've done here, is to take a bunch of combat missions. And you do that by coming here. I've taken 3, so it won't let me take any more. And you'll see there I've taken 3 combat missions. I've just taken little e, so they were clustered together. And every time you sink a ship in there, you will generate some hostility points. It should be pointed out, if you sink ships of the line, you generate twice as many hostility points. Probably the most important thing to know is when you begin a combat order, you sail to it and click on the cutlasses. By doing so, you've started a battle that will be open for 30 minutes for people to join. And it's a good fun thing to do, is to join those things and help mates out, or even better, join those things and biff up enemies who are engaged with an enemy fleet. You have to be wary though, if you're joining a long time after the battle started, then the battle inside might be a good sort of 15-20 minute sail from the point you join at, which could leave you isolated and allow them to send 2 ships back if they're going particularly well against the AI. Now, the fourth and best way of generating hostility is to sink enemy players. And when you sink enemy players, you get maximum points for a kill, and that really is the best way to raise hostility in an area. Once you've generated hostility, if you come again to conquest information, what you can do is you can look at your personal tally. So in Trinidad, I've racked up 484 hostility points. If your enemy lowers it back to 0, this actually won't show until someone raises it back above 0 again, then it will show again. Whenever there's a port battle, your personal hostility points will disappear after a port battle. Why would you want personal hostility points? Well, obviously it's a fantastic way of showing off your EPeen, but more importantly, when the port battle begins, you click on the cutlasses. If you've got hostility points, you'll enter straight away. Different battles need a different amount of hostility points for you to enter. If a player clicks without any hostility points, they can't enter straight away. I think they need overspill points, so I've got 484. Let's say this one needs 10 to enter. My matey clicks to enter. He's got no points because he's a slack bastard. He clicks to enter. He will have to wait. I think it's 2 minutes. I don't know the actual on this. It seems to be about 2 minutes before he can enter, but he will be able to enter because effectively I've got more points than I need. So effectively he can leech off my hostility points. So that's more or less how you kick a port battle off. Let's just recap that. So let me just bring up a wee graphic so we can recap that. This is us sailing in on Matina, I think, isn't it very beautiful? That's our screening fleet. This is our wonderful fleet coming in behind me of Agamemnons and Ingas. Hostility recap, war supplies, that's a small way of raising hostility. AI fleets, that's a medium way of doing it and it's relatively safe. Combat missions, that's a medium way of doing it and of course it carries risk because people can join. And PvP is the best way to do it, loads of points and a bit of fun. So how do the points work? Anything in red will change because they're tinkering with it. Basically it's 10,000 points to set a port up. It's X points for a kill. At the moment, I believe it's 50 points for killing an AI ship. That gets doubled if it's a ship of the line. Your total is multiplied at the moment if it's AI by 5%, but that's where you get the 50 from. That's after it's been modified. At the moment, I don't believe we're getting anything for an assist. We're getting 75 points for each war supply we deliver. As I've said, you can only have 2 ports scheduled for port biffer at any point in time. If you tip a port battle, a region, a county to 100%, and the scheduled time of the port battle is outside of these server times, so 9 AM till 3:47 AM, it will not queue. You'll have to do another tickle once you get inside that time zone. That's to make sure that Australians can't have any fun at all. After each port reset, there is a 12% hostility decay. So if you had a port at 80%, that will drop to 68%. Again, that's been tinkered with already. Once that used to be 20%, it's now 12%. And your hostility points are your ticket into a port battle. And probably the most important thing to realise is all the maths and the numbers and the mechanics they're tinkering with right now, but as far as we are in the 2nd or 3rd week of this patch, this is where we are, and the fundamentals will probably stay the same as in the different types of missions and war supplies, PvP having a premium over AIs, combat missions probably being the most fun way of generating large amounts of hostility. So that's the giggity-doo for hostility. I hope you enjoyed that. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. I will see you on the ocean and I will catch you.